Erik Ten Hag's 3-3-1-3 explained. Today we're going to dive into the tactics of Erik Ten Hag's Plan B, his attacking structure that he frequently used at Ajax. So before we dive in, let's take a look at the system, the formation, the tactical side of it. So of course Manchester United played recently in the Europa League. They were chasing the game, they needed to score a goal to get through as first and not having to play the round of two in the Europa League. Manchester United 1-0 up at half time. Then Erik Ten Hag saw an opportunity to try and grab that second goal in first place and switched to a 3-3-1-3. That was made up of Luke Shaw, Martinez and Delot as a back three, Casemiro as a DM, McTominay and Eriksen as the outside shuttlers in a diamond, Rashford at the tip of the diamond, then Garnacho, Bruno and of course Cristiano Ronaldo as the front three. This is something that I've seen frequently as Ajax team do when chasing games, bringing on the likes of Brian Brobbery up front to play with a Tadic or a Sebastian Haller, going for the jugular and being super aggressive with the selection. Today we're going to go through tactically why this is the case, but also we're going to look into improvements within what Manchester United did against Sociedad and how they can get better at playing this 3-3-1-3. Pretty crazy footballing formation. So let's start with that kind of setup against Sociedad. Manchester United lined up in a 4-2-3-1 from the get-go with Bruno Fernandes wide right, with Donny van de Beek as a number 10, Garnacho, who was superb on the left-hand side, Ronaldo through the middle, Eriksen, Casemiro double pivot, and a back four of Shaw, Martinez, Victor Lindelof and Diogo Dalot. The interesting side is when he obviously went to the bench and made his changes in the match. What I love about Erik Ten Hag is he's bold. He made these changes on the 58th minute. So what Erik Ten Hag did in this moment, he brought on Scott McTominay for Victor Lindelof, and then he also brought in Marcus Rashford for Donny van de Beek. It could have been a 4-2-3-1, pretty similar with Rashford as a second striker, Scott McTominay as an auxiliary centre half, but that wasn't the case. Manchester United moved their shape. McTominay moved into midfield with Christian Eriksen and Casemiro. Martinez, Shaw and Delot made up a back three. Marcus Rashford sat at number 10 and Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes stayed in their kind of wide positions. In terms of the shape, we've got the back three, we've got the midfield three, the attacking midfielder and the front three. This for me is one of the best shapes to break down a low block, and we're going to go through a few reasons why that is. But in terms of the sort of the side of it, I love the enthusiasm that Manchester United changed the game. We haven't seen that in recent years, where it's a massive change of shape and a shape that quite works from a possession basis. So why is the 3-3-1-3 such a good formation to grab a goal when you're chasing the game? First and foremost, I think the base of three at the back allow you to have the extra man to progress the football into midfield and out to the wide areas simply. I think if we look at the basic shapes that you're going to come up against when a team is defending deep, first and foremost, kind of a deep 4-4-2. The first thing that you've got there is that you have a natural overload, a 3-on-2 situation with the back three, which means you'll be able to, work a passing option using David De Gea as well to basically find the spare man. For example, if we're going to draw the opposition down the left-hand side, then switching it through the goalkeeper to the right centre-back, instantly we've got progressive passes into the feet of the midfielders. I think if we looked at any other shape, let's say it is a kind of 5 at the back system, let's say a 5-4-1, you've got a similar situation where you've now got a 3v1 at the back, again simple ball progression. Let's say a 3-5-2, throwing the number 10 back up, similar, you've got that 3v2 option at the back, you're going to be able to progress the ball. So building with that 3 when you're trying to break down that kind of low, deep block is a really good place to start, and it allows you to progress the play. I think when we're looking, when you're into that midfield zone as well, when you've progressed the ball into central midfield, either into your defensive midfielder or one of the box-to-box players, I think what I liked about United as well, at times we saw not only Casemiro in this deep position, but also we saw Christian Eriksen there as the game went on, a real natural ball player in that kind of position to play forward and to get people in between the lines. I think one of the benefits of having a diamond in midfield is usually you will overload the opposition in that area. Even if it's a 4-3-3 or a 4-5-1, you'll still overload that 4v3, and it allows you to kind of pin the opposition back a little bit more. You've got lots of progressive options from midfield to attack, and I think this is a big part of the formation. Diamonds, triangles, with the ability to play through allows you to get into that final third, and you're not looking for those aimless aimless, hopeful, long balls you're actually building up correctly. So that overload area with the diamond, very, very important. And then the last part of the shape, which I think is vitally important, is the width that it creates. You should be using the wide players all the time. You know, we're talking getting the ball to your Garnachos, your Rashfords, your Jadon Sanchos, your Antonys in those areas, and allowing them to take on the fullback 1v1 is another benefit of the shape. Not only is that the case, but because of the natural kind of narrowness of that midfield area. Let's put it, Casemiro back to the base. But because of the narrowness of the midfield area, you'll see the opposition will compact their shape, especially in their midfield line, which should open up these easy balls into the feet of the forwards. Talking outside centre-back to the wide players straight away. You're in the final third. You're looking to take people on easy progression. Not only that, with this system, it can go to a more brutal 3-3-4. You throw in your second striker up with the striker in there, Rashford and Ronaldo, let's say, and kind of changing things. I did like it for United. It improved, but there's a few things they need to do if they really want to utilise the shape to the best of its ability. The first thing that I would say is using the defensive midfielder as a false centre-back. We saw this happen at Ajax with Edison Alvarez. He would drop into the back line when Ajax lost the ball and basically create a back four, and then you go back to that kind of 4-2-3-1 defensive shape. And this is something United need to work on, is when they lose the ball, that player that's at the base dropping from that sort of defensive midfield position out to the back. Not only this will make you a little bit harder to play and to break down, but Casemiro then can act as a halfback and drive out into the space that's been vacated into that midfield area. That's the first thing that needs to change for this system to fully, get the Erik Ten Hag Ajax feel to it. Secondly, as we mentioned previously, the progression needs to be a lot better. It needs to be faster. It needs to be more compact. The progression not only is as we mentioned previously, the outside centre-backs into the feet of the wingers, which is so simple, but as well, utilising that midfield diamond, having the diamond being advanced in between the opposition's spaces. You want to basically cause a problem for the opposition. Let's say they're playing in this 4-4-2, where they're worried about the pass to Rashford, Eriksen and Scott McTominay, where they've got to cover all those angles. The progression needs to be faster out wide, but also faster through the middle. And I think one of the last thing that United need to do is getting the ball wide and then crossing the ball. Too many times we saw Manchester United being in super deep areas and hitting, useless balls at the top, for Harry Maguire or Ronaldo to fight and win. That is something that United need to not do. You need patience when you're trying to break a low block, when you need to chase a goal in a game. And that patience comes from working the ball wide to the wingers, having the width. Because I think too frequently we saw Manchester United's front four being super narrow again. It reminded me of the Jose Mourinho days. I felt a little bit sick in my mouth. But the key to it is that width in the final third. But also maybe a change in personnel, obviously going forward. Antony far more of a natural winger in those positions. Same with Antony, more of a natural winger. Bruno would probably be more suited to playing in the number 10 position in this system, and obviously Rashford could play wide. And then you've got true width. So the opposition are starting to have a lot of problems. Who picks up Bruno Fernandes? Who's moving the ball around? Who's picking up Scott McTominay? Eriksen, who deals with Casemiro, starts to open up a lot of areas for you. And then when you've worked the ball wide, then flood the box. Flood the box with your attacking mid, your striker, your wide player on the other side, Scott McTominay, Eriksen. That's the part where you flood it. It's too early too many times for Manchester United where they decide, so now we're going to throw everyone in the box, we're going to cross from deep. That doesn't work. Get the ball wide. Have patience. But I'll tell you what, I love this system. I think it's a system where Man United get it set that will be so utilised when chasing the game. And, the wingers getting the ball, flooding that penalty area, good base out of the back. Casemiro as a false centre-back. That's exactly what Manchester United need to do. But thanks for watching, guys. Again, if you want to check out any of the statistics or average positions of Manchester United's recent games, go and download yourself a little bit of SofaScore. What an app. What a place to look at the great Alejandro Garnacho and his performance against Real Sociedad. 1 goal, 30 touches, 2 shots, 100% of his dribbles completed, 2 interceptions and a clearance. This kid is destined for the heights of European football. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Should United go to a 4-2-4, or do you reckon this 3-3-1-3 is the one? I've been Statman Dave. Subscribe if you're new. Check out the review every Monday at 12 o'clock and the preview every Friday at 3. We'll see you next time.